Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another Cars 3 Diecast review. Today we have Cruz Ramirez as Frances Beltline, a brand new release. Now before we get into the review of her, I actually have quite a bit to talk about. First off, I just got back from my vacation. It was a quick weekend trip to Atlanta, Georgia. I had a lot of fun with my family. I will not be doing a vlog video on it simply because I didn't get enough footage. So yeah, it rained a lot. We were on tours that prohibited camera use, so those are the two primary reasons. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk about is, oh boy, this one's exciting. I got a brand new phone, which translates into brand new camera for YouTube videos as well, because that's what I use to record my videos. It's the truth, guys. I don't have a big fancy camera to record my videos with. I do actually have fancy cameras, but I don't record my videos with them. I use my phone. So before, I had an iPhone 6. It was awesome, but toward the end of its life, it got a little, I don't know, glitchy with the recording. But now I have a red limited edition iPhone 7 Plus. This baby is absolutely insane. You might be able to already tell the quality increase in video recording. I am right now, like for example, I think if I was using the iPhone 7, we wouldn't have as much of a focus on the background cars right here, like Miss Fritter and McQueen over there on the left. So that's an improvement. Also, I can do this like zoom in thing really quickly, and I'm not going to do it right now, only when it's like, you know, when I have to, because when I do it, it actually has this big flash and whatnot. So that's awesome. And there's like this new picture feature called Portrait, so I can take really awesome pictures of cars for you guys. So it'll be a lot of fun. I really hope you guys can notice the quality change. That's a lot better. I definitely do, but I know the iPhone 6 had pretty good quality as well. But I do know that this one is a lot better. I'm noticing it right off the bat. So I'm super happy with it. It's an amazing phone. I am not being asked or paid to say this, but Apple, you did a great job with this phone. The only thing that I would have wanted is to get just the regular iPhone 7. I'm not a big fan of the Plus because it is so insanely big, but the portrait mode for pictures only came on the iPhone 7 Plus. But anyway, that's enough talk about random stuff, and now let's dive right into the review of this awesome diecast. So I bought her on Amazon, not from Amazon directly though. You know, I usually buy from Amazon directly because they have retail prices, but I decided to not do that this time because I saw her in stock for around $9 from another seller. I don't remember the name right now. They shipped it in a box with no packaging material, so I'm not going to give them good feedback, so I'm not even going to worry about mentioning their name anyway. But I'm going to open it up, so it's okay. And I actually, like right before I saw Frances here come in stock, Doc, which is also in the same case, and I'll talk about that in a second, was in stock from Amazon directly for like $8.07. Now that's absolutely ridiculous because usually if it's from Amazon directly, they'll sell it to you for around retail price. It started at $4, then they upped it to $6 for some reason for some cars like mood springs and gaskets that I reviewed a couple days ago. And for some reason they now upped it for like these two to around $8. But I only caught Doc in stock about him. I got him today, so I'll review him in the future even though he's so similar to the Cars 1 version. But anyway, now, when I saw her from the third-party seller for only $1 more than what it would have been from Amazon Direct, I was like, okay, whatever. You know, no one has found these in the United States yet, so I just decided to buy her. What the heck, right, guys? I wanted to do a review for you. So, yeah, like I said, not available in the United States just yet. I know people have found them in Italy and Australia, probably some other places as well, but those are the only two off the top of my head. So if you're in those places, that's awesome. I hope you guys can find them. Now, I'm sure they will show up in the United States soon enough because resellers here in the US have got them and have them on their eBay stores. Now, in this case, which is case F, I know it's confusing because mood springs and gaskets came from case B, so Mattel is jumping around the alphabet a little bit. Case C is already out. The only two new singles are Sterling and Bobby Swift. I'm not entirely sure about Case D. Case E, I think, is a Target exclusive case, but doesn't have any new cars in it that are notable really. And then Case E, which is what I was just talking about, sorry guys, it is late, I'm tired. Case F is the case that these guys are in. The entire list of contents will be in the description below. And the only other new single in this case besides these two is Lizzie. But since she is identical to previous releases, she's not that special, at least for me, being a longtime collector. I will review Doc in the near future though, so don't worry about that. And now let's talk about her package. Obviously, we'll talk about her appearance and releases in a couple moments when I take her out of the package. On the back here, you can see that Doc Hudson, Rex Revler, I reviewed him a couple days ago. There's Lizzie, like I was just talking about. Cars 3 Lightning McQueen, Cal Weathers, and the weird one, Harvey Rodcap, the N20 Cola racer. Now, as you guys probably know, his actual name is Parker Breakston, at least according to the Case B release of him. As you can see, Parker Breakston. Now, for some reason, on the back of all the Case F cars, it says Harvey Rodcap. So I have absolutely no idea what happened there. Mattel, why? What? How? What? Like, what's going on? Why did you choose to rename him? So I guess maybe we'll find out in the future. The description for the Cars 3 line reads, blindsided by a new generation of piston car racers, Lightning McQueen finds himself suddenly pushed out of the sport he loves. To get back on top, he will need help from the young race technician, inspiration from the late fabulous Hudson Hornet, and guidance from a few old friends along the way. So I'm pretty sure that's it for the review here of the package. I do want to quickly talk about the Super Chase Cruz Ramirez as Crazy 8 Frances Beltline. So it's kind of confusing. A lot of people have been thinking that this is a Super Chase because if you go to Mattel.com and look at the poster, there actually shows, or it shows a Super Chase that is almost identical to this release right here. The only difference that's visible on the website is maybe a little bit in the dirt detailing around the fenders and the name. It says like Cruz Ramirez as Crazy 8 Frances Beltline. This one is just Cruz Ramirez as Frances Beltline. Now it confuses me because she would only be disguised in the Demolition Derby, in the Crazy 8 Demolition Derby, because why else would she be, disguised elsewhere? We might find out in the movie, but regardless, I just want to clarify that this release right here is not a Super Chase. It would say Super Chase with a circle right there, most likely, and it'll be slightly different. We'll find out when the Super Chase is released. According to Mattel's website, it is released, but it's not actually, it's not out. No one has found it yet, so super confusing. Mattel is playing some games with us here, like with this Harvey Rodcap thing, these two Cruz Ramirez's that look exactly the same. One's a Super Chase, but I promise you guys, I'm sure we'll find out in the future. We just gotta wait for them to release the other one. It should be labeled right here that it's a Super Chase. Mattel, for the Disney cars, they don't usually hide that the release is a Super Chase, unlike Hot Wheels where they kind of put the information behind the car there in the blister, and they have a little logo on the diecast that indicates that it's a treasure hunt or a super treasure hunt, but they don't do that for the Disney cars. They clearly indicate you have a Super Chase right here, congratulations. But yeah, that's a lot of talking for the beginning here of the video, but there was a lot to talk about since I just got back from vacation, got the new phone, and this is somewhat of a controversial release. But anyways guys, I'll be right back with this awesome diecast opened up. Cruz opened up, looking awesome, and now let's start by talking about her appearance in Cars 3. So obviously, she is disguised for the Crazy 8 Demolition Derby. For some reason, she chose the name Frances Beltline, and of course, Lightning McQueen is also disguised as Chester Whipplefilter. They don't want anyone to know that they're at the Demolition Derby. We really don't know the reason behind that yet, but I'm sure it'll be revealed in the movie. Now for her number right there, number 20, I do know how she gets it. It's kind of accidental, but is a spoiler for the movie. They show it in the Road to the Races event sneak peek. I know that has been leaked to YouTube, but still, it's a spoiler. I'm not going to talk about it in this video, but if you want to know, it'll be in the description at the very bottom below, all the music credits and everything. So just be aware that it's down there. It's down there if you want to know. It's not a big spoiler, like it's not a plot point or anything. It's very minor, but I know a lot of people are specific about spoilers, so I'm just not going to say it because I don't want to upset anyone. And obviously she's in there with McQueen for the Demolition Derby. They're racing, they're doing their thing. She looks terrified in the trailers we've seen. And yeah, she just doesn't seem like she wants to be there. And she gets muddy. I really like the detailing for that. Very muddy. Not as muddy as McQueen though, but it makes sense. Very accurate to the movie. And we've also seen her kind of like this, although more like dirty and like with gravel rather than mud when she's training at Thomasville, and she has the 20 there as well. So I'll show some pictures from the trailers. And by the way, Cars 3 is almost here, at least for us in the United States. Is so close. I'm super hyped. I'll be doing some special videos next week leading up to the release for it. I'm actually seeing it on Thursday night, because when movies say they come out on a day, like Friday is usually when movies are released, they actually come out the night before. So I'm going then, a nice screening, probably not that many people, so I'm super excited for that. It'll be great. I'll do some videos, like I said, a live stream as well, so stay tuned for some more info in upcoming videos. But anyway, getting back to Cruz Ramirez here, that's pretty much it for her appearance. We'll obviously talk about it and know more after the movie is released, because we don't have to avoid spoilers. But I know like Cars 3 doesn't come out until September in Italy, so we'll be avoiding spoilers for a while, just out of respect for those people in other countries. But now moving on to her releases, this single release is it so far. Since she is Cruz Ramirez, one of the main characters, I'm sure she'll get many re-releases in this variation of her. But so far, single release right now in KSAF, that's it. Alright, now let's get into the review of her as a diecast. She looks great. Unfortunately though, she has the same expression as the regular Cruz Ramirez. It's slightly different than the Dynaco Cruz Ramirez. It's also the same as the Cruz Ramirez in that Fireball Beach 4-pack where she's all sandy, but I have not opened that one up yet. It's very similar to this, and when I review that 4-pack, we'll do a comparison of all 4 of these Cruz Ramirez's. There will be a lot of Cruz Ramirez variations in the movie. I feel like her and McQueen will have the most variations as diecast for Cars 3. But anyway, they have the same expression. And now just so you guys know, there are a lot of little variations with Cruz Ramirez out at the moment. Like for the regular version here, there's a version with this black outline, as you can see right there, and there's a version without. This one right here, so far we've only seen without. And yeah, just so you guys can see that. And then for Dynaco Cruz Ramirez, there are too many to even discuss. Again, we have the black line on and off, and then there's stuff going on with the back window. But that's a topic for a separate video that I may or may not do. Maybe I'll talk about it in a live stream, and that'll kind of be like a dual purpose, because I'll be able to talk about more things in the live stream as well. But so far, only one version of this version of Cruz. It's kind of weird. You have like the mainstream variations, and then you have like little branches off from those as well. So it's super confusing. Mattel really is playing games with us, like I said at the beginning of the video. But she looks great. I love the muddy rims. Just awesome. They match obviously the silver right there. Very nicely done. I love how the base is completely muddy. It makes sense. I also love the mud around the like edges of her, the fenders, because it just looks so realistic. Like how it's like sprayed up. It's not like all, you know, bunched up and very concentrated like McQueen is. But it makes sense for McQueen because obviously in the movie he's covered entirely in mud. But for her, it's not like evenly done. It's all irregularly shaped. Very nice. It's like a splatter, so I'm very impressed with that. I also like the 20. It looks just like it does in the movie. The 2.0 there in black. Of course, you have the Rust-eze Racing Center, or the Rust-eze Team 95 right there. Same logo as on the regular version. Very, very nicely detailed, of course. Moving toward the back here, there's her gas cap. It's the same as on the regular version of her. However, on the Dinoco version, it's a little bit different there. As you can see, it's darker, a little bit more bold. Now on the back here of Frances Cruz, you can see that logo beneath the trunk. CRS is what it says. I believe that relates to the fictional type of model she is that Disney and Pixar created. CR most likely standing for Cruz Ramirez. Maybe S is sport or something along those lines. So it's kind of cool that they adapted her initials into the fictional type of model. Now her license plate down there, C01-06A, is a huge Easter egg for Cristela Alonso, who voices Cruz Ramirez in Cars 3. So if you take the first and last characters there, those are her initials, obviously CA, Cristela Alonso, and then 0106, that stands for January 6th, which is Cristela's birthday. So very, very cool right there. I love how Pixar does that stuff. So that's pretty much it for Cruz. She looks very happy, even though she really shouldn't be, at least in this Demolition Derby scene. Or maybe this is supposed to be a different part in the movie, because according to the Mattel poster, the Super Chase is the Crazy 8 version. But who really knows at this point? Everything's pretty confusing. So one little last comparison here between the two. I do not have the version of Cruz regular without the black outline. There are just so many variations of her that's hard to keep up. Plus, you know, I have not seen case B in a store where Cruz Ramirez regular is in a single pack, so the only way I could get this like no outline version is through the 2-pack with Sterling, and that's another $8 right there, so I'm probably just going to wait for the single version. Here now is a comparison with the Dinoco Cruz Ramirez. I love Dinoco Cruz, just so amazing. Cannot wait to see the movie next week and see how everything plays out, how she's a Rust Ease racer, and then, or maybe after, I don't know, a Dinoco racer. It's very interesting. I have been spoiled a little bit for the movie, just based on things on the community and people posting in the comments. Yeah, I'm not talking to anyone specific out there, but just don't blurt out and says who won the Florida 500. Please don't do that, because now I know, but a lot of other people don't know, so spare them. Just let them find out when the movie comes out. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Let's bring together all the Demolition Derby cars we have so far. So, of course, we have Team McQueen, Team Cruz right here. They look great together. You know, I feel like McQueen's expression is a little bit more fitting because they're worried, but Mattel didn't want to change the expression from the original Cruz to fit the scene. But of course, we have Miss Fritter looking amazing. I love Miss Fritter. And Dr. Damage, who I recently just reviewed. Link for him will be down in the description below if you want to check that out. Also, if you'd like to see my video on McQueen's disguise, which kind of like relates to this whole topic, that video will be in the description below. I did a whole video on that topic. It's actually pretty interesting because, you know, why are they disguised? Like, what do they have to hide? But I'm sure we'll find out in the movie. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I have a lot more awesome reviews coming in the near future, like Parker Breakston. Got him on Amazon recently. And like I showed earlier, Dirt Track Fabulous Hudson Hornet, aka Doc, also from Case F. So yeah, case contents down below, a whole bunch of information. Don't forget the spoiler, that's at the very bottom. I'll try to put very, very below everything else, so if you accidentally click, you may still not see it. But it's not really a spoiler, it's just something that I feel like people may be agitated if I said. So, thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for another video. Bye now.